in. And is Twitch kicking in? And I think we're live on Twitch. All right, welcome to Code Hangout number 52. Let's see if we can finish that killer cage calculator. And today, as the title is suggesting, we're gonna try to get more cages with one UI. And last time, I added code handling multiple cages. Today, my audio sounds differently. Maybe this is better. So I added code for multiple cages, but I haven't actually hooked it up to the UI yet. And I'm not seeing... I'm looking at production, that's why. So, calculator tool. And get cages from selection. I don't know which one is the right code now. So here, this is the stuff I need to output. Yeah, I've hidden all of this because it's actually went live to the test server. So for example, the idea is that I can now select these 3 cells. And here it got all the options for a 2-cell cage. But internally it can actually figure out that we have 2 cages where basically the outie cell is calculated as a separate cage. I'm still a bit weirded by the audio. Don't know why. Is the music too loud? It's as usually set to the lowest I can possibly set it. Maybe this is better. Please let me know if there's any issues with the music or with the chat. Say hi in the chat. Sometimes the chat doesn't work. All right, so today we got to figure out a UI where we can show more than one list. Currently, it still has basically all of the old code here. So what I need to do now is to separate the display code from the code that actually generates the data, right? Because the data we already have, and here all combos, you know, so for example, if I select this whole cell, it basically will give me 3 cages. All the options for the 2-cell cage. No, that's the cells. Where the filtered combinations. All combinations. So it doesn't get... it's not figuring out the combinations here. There's probably something with these labels that I probably need to sort out. Okay, let's find a... really? Okay, I'm gonna go to artisanal Sudoku. My purveyor of finest killer Sudoku demos. The only thing missing from these is... let me go to the volume 1 so I don't spoiler any puzzles for those of you who haven't subscribed yet to this newsletter. Yeah, I think I need something with, ideally with like larger cages as well. Let's see if we can find one quickly. These have a lot of very small cages. Here we go. Let's try this one. All right. Hey, Zitamath. You literally posted it under my going live message. So today I want to finish off the killer cage tool because the best stuff that I've been working on isn't actually in there yet, which is what people were asking for. So for example, the idea is to can select something like this, and internally it already figures out, it splits it into basically 3 cages. There's the 11-sum cage with its options. There should be an 18-sum cage with its options. That's this one, and then it groups the remaining cells into a virtual cage with all its options as well. So what I want to do in the display, I want to basically show groups, you know, sort of kind of like a nested list of the cages and their possibilities. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stop updating the UI by just skipping out. All right, maybe that's not updating the eye a bit too hard. Well, let's see. If I do this, and I'm just gonna do something like this. Yeah. Wallet count. All count. Like this. And put that in here. Now it's gonna complain. Nope. Okay. Something like this, or 20, I don't know. Just a placeholder text. For now. How are you doing, Zetamath? Is it early or late or somewhere weird in between at for your time? All right, so previously we put a UL in here. Okay, so now we basically need to do a nested this. Okay, let's hard code it first so we can kind of make it look decent. So yeah, I guess I'll just do that. So we're gonna have a list of cages. Something like this. And then we probably want to do something like this. Label, let's say. And then we'll do UL. And here we'll go the rest of the cage. And then here we'll close the UL. And then here we'll do something like 1, 2, 3. And we'll do a couple of those. Let's see what that looks like. Ah, just about noon. That's not too bad. Yeah, me too. I mean, to be fair, my initial goal is to have it to be an additional tool. Like I'm not gonna compete with I have no solver support and so on. So the idea is that you design the puzzle in FPuzzles until you have sort of the numbers down, and then you make it look pretty. You import it and figure out all the metadata and make it all look nice and tidy and all that stuff. Yeah, so we're gonna have to split out these guys at the end. Now, what does it look like if I have more than one of these? So we have cage 1, and then I'm gonna have cage 2, something like this. All right. So then we'll do something like, and then cages, and here we say class equals comps. Surprised you're still doing puzzles. Sudoku, I thought everybody's doing word games now. I'm not bitter. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's awkward. I can imagine. Okay, so this little stuff here should only go on the rows. So we basically want to do, all of this is going to get prefixed with .coms. Like that. And maybe we'll just get rid of this. Yeah, I guess you guys aren't really excited for the killer cage tool because it's not really a setter tool. In fact, setters probably don't like people using that. Maybe you have to go with 17.5. Let me ask you something, because there's one feature that's been bouncing around the back of my head that I've been wanting to do, but obviously it's just a technical idea, so I'd need somebody to actually think about what that could be used for. but to basically have something more dynamic. Because currently all the puzzles are basically static, right? So what if, let's say, you could define certain rules that if you place a number somewhere, then that affects something. Let's say changes a line or moves something, you know? Like a puzzle that evolves as you solve it. Like, it would be very tricky to kind of think of it like Minecraft Redstone, that kind of thing, you know? All right, good to know. Ah, now this looks a bit different, obviously. Oh, well, obviously it'll look different. The only issue with this now is I might have to change the scale of it. I guess. I don't know. Yeah, like, I don't know. Like, I'd love to have something more dynamic, you know? Yeah. I mean, it could also be just used for very different kinds of puzzles, you know? Like a lights out type puzzle where you just click the lights and stuff like that, you know, like any kind of grid-based puzzle. Just kind of having a sort of a low-level language to it, you know, like tic-tac-toe, stuff like that, you know, kind of from a mechanical point of view. Or game of checkers, for example, you know. But it would be interesting if it could be integrated with Sudoku-style puzzle games, you know. Or kind of like, imagine something like Legend of Zelda, right? But it's a Sudoku grid. So you kind of solve the puzzle and then you kind of exit the room and it scrolls over and suddenly you're in a new room, you know, or you choose which of the 3 exits to go through, you know, that kind of stuff. I don't know. It'd be interesting, like, to brainstorm it sometime, like to create a special edition with a Zeta to design specifically a puzzle and kind of just to, kind of like a workshop, you know, like a weekend game jam and just figure out what kind of ideas might make sense, you know? I have no idea. If there is, I'd love to see it. Alright, so I'm gonna simulate a selection here. Just to help me kind of do this. So, framework app dot get cell, oh, cells, no, puzzle dot get cell, no, cells, okay. Let car cells, and then for so we want 8 cells around 9 cells along the right edge. Something like this. Right. And we want this to be not I, but I times 9 plus 8. Right? No. I times 9 should be 0. I times 9 should be oh, I plus 9. God damn it. I plus 9. I times 9 plus 8. So you have an 8, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay. And then we should be able to map these to framework. Nope. Framework.app.puzzle.cells. Right? That should give us 8 cells. We can do this. And then I'm gonna do this. Comment that out just to remind myself what I'm doing here. And then this, instead of selected cells, we do this. What am I getting wrong here? It's one of those mystery things. Everybody talks about it, nobody's seen it. Oh, because that turns undefined. Um, All right, so that seems to work now. The funny thing is, why is this happening early? Oh, okay. Ah, but then this should give us this selection on the rightmost row. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, all the sort of automatic mark removal stuff, I'd like to at least replicate what's in the Studio Goya apps as an option. It's one of those things, like, I gotta finish that Killer Cage thing, but it's one of those things, if I sit down and I don't have a clear thing I need to do that stream, and somebody says, hey, let's do that, I can probably put it together, you know? The thing is, I've tried doing one of them before, at somebody's suggestion, and then it turned out it wasn't such a good idea after all, and it kind of messed with all sorts of other things. So it's also... But I mean, what you're talking about, that sort of stuff should be relatively easy to do. What I really need to do is I need to improve the settings dialog so I can split these out into separate pages, so it's not just a long list of stuff that nobody understands, you know? I mean, even Simon doesn't seem to know his settings yet, which is sometimes a little embarrassing for me. Come on, Simon, know these settings. I've like given him sessions for all of these. Yeah, I don't know exactly what they have, but I definitely, you know, there's some people who are... It's always what people are used to, you know? Like what you're saying works, for example, for Snyder notation, but I've seen people, like I've seen somebody send me screenshots, and it looked like they were using reverse Snyder, like they used the corner marks for what we normally use center marks for. Like, I could barely read it. It's so strange. All right, so... the wrap combo. All right, so let's do Killen's Cage to HTML or to HTML. Right. Let's do this. And cage info should have cages, and then we should have cage 0. So that will be cages 0. And this, like that. Yeah, it's in the end, it's got to be a whole bunch of settings. The problem is it might get really complex in the end, and I don't like... In theory, it sounds like it might make sense to just have everything as a setting, let people figure it out themselves. But the reality is, it's too much cognitive load. Like 99.9% of people aren't going to bother with it. And a few people are going to be really happy about it, you know. Ultimately, it needs to be kind of like, you know, like a slider, you know, 1, 2, 3, like fully automatic, semi-automatic, and manual, you know. And it just is sort of a group of presets. And then if somebody really wants, they can kind of mess with their presets and create new presets that has combinations of settings, you know, for the power user. But for the mainstream user, you cannot just have 10 settings. That, like, even the Studio Goya apps, they just have a couple of them, and I didn't even fully understand what they do, and it took me a while to figure it out. Or the other way around. You know what? One thing I wanted to do, I was actually looking into this. I wanted to include, like, for an app, kind of for an app with like guided puzzles and stuff, to have basically audio recordings of Simon of doing like hints or you know, kind of call outs and stuff, and then have a sort of a simple 3D model of his bust, like a little just head and shoulders in the corner, animated and lip synced to the audio, you know, and like it's like when you press hint, you know, he'll just say, hey, have you looked at box 3? There might be an X-wing there or something, you know, and just have a whole bunch of phrases that you could probably puzzle together to just have a generic hint system for any puzzle, you know. And then you can, you know, microtransaction style, you can buy ranks, you can buy Simon, you can get Mark, you can get Zetamath, you know, whoever you want, you can get a dog, I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of My unique selling point is usability, I think, because like most of the other tools are actually more powerful in many ways. But if you can't use it, then there's no point, you know. And I felt like, I remember when I started first, like every time they had a link to F-puzzles, I almost didn't bother because like I don't know, it didn't work with my muscle memory somehow, you know. You've already lost. All right, what have we got? So we've got cage 0, and the HTML thing doesn't output anything yet. All right. So this should now really be this thing. Right. And what's in the cage? What's in the cage? The cage contains the problem is I don't actually have a title or label for these cages. So we need to actually generate a kind of thing, something. So we're gonna make it out of the number of cells for now. So size, and then this will be cage dot dot cells. And then I think they should all have a min sum max sum. So, and I think I'm already dealing with that. Min sum max sum sum string. So we'll do const cage sum string. Min sum and valid count, is that part of the cage? Vals. 1 second. Cage info cages. Cells, filtered combinations. Filtered combinations. I think it'll be filtered combinations dot length. Length. So then we can just do this. And currently it's just gonna be now the problem with sum is, of course, it doesn't apply to cages that don't have a sum, right? So we'll have to figure that stuff out as well. Yeah, a long time ago I've been wondering about rebranding it as SudokuPad Web or SudokuPad Lite or SudokuPad Free. Like, the problem is, like, I need to differentiate it somehow for the paying customers so they feel like they're getting more value. And I mean, they do. But if I just call both SudokuPad, then people will get definitely confused. I want to rebrand it to SudokuPad because I kind of like the name and I have the domain names and all that stuff. All right, so now we have not this. We have this sum undefined cage sum string. Oh. So cage sum string. You know what, I'm gonna split these. And just pull this down here and this there. Yeah, it's kind of a chicken and egg question. Am I getting clout because people think it's the official SCTC app? Or are CTC getting clout because everybody thinks they've made a nice app and they're providing the software to the community? So it's a little bit of a... I mean, the thing is, for me, it almost doesn't matter because it's not like if it didn't have CTC on it, people wouldn't use it, you know? But I haven't quite figured that out yet myself, to be honest. So cage to sum string is not working right. Cage sum string, because I'm not returning it, that's why. All right, so sum string is 11. So size 3, sum 11, okay. You probably want to lowercase that. Something like this, perhaps. So now we should be able to just do... So what we'd have here is cageinfo.cages.map, cage to HTML basically. And then we can get rid of all of this. And then just that goes there. I think that's all we need to do. So size 3, sum 11, size 3, sum 18, size 3. Yeah, okay. So there are 3 size 3 cages. It's a bit tricky because I don't have a reference. Like, people won't know which one of those refers to which. We'll see when it's all said and done if it is a problem. And then what did we do down here? Cage to wrap combo. And then here we're gonna have wrap digit. Okay. So cage to HTML, and then we have digit to HTML. And wrap digit. All right. So I'm gonna do something like this with something like this. And I don't know if I'll need other information here. So that goes here. And then all comps.map wrap comp. Wait, yeah. So we have comp to HTML. And that's really this part. So we have label, UL class comps. And then that just goes in here. And currently, each combination is stored in cage all comps, right? So cage.allcoms join yada yada yada, come to HTML like that. And then that's it. And then end of the list and end of the LI for this cage. Ugh. Don't need that. And then in this one, we're going to do this. Don't know which of these is going to blow up. One of these is going to blow up for sure. All right, cage ID is not defined. Comp ID, cage ID. Where does the cage ID come from? So one of the problems here. Hey, Andy. Yeah, I don't really want to do a lot of fancy UI stuff if I can avoid it. Not at this stage, anyways. I don't have any good mechanisms. I mean, after I've built the editor, maybe I can reuse some of those mechanisms. But right now, it would be interfering too much for what is supposed to be a relatively small separate feature. I need to calculate an ID for the cages. Am I not already doing that? Wait a second. Cage info, cages. Ah, they already have IDs. Okay. So, I got yada yada yada, cage, yada yada yada, cage ID. Ah. So maybe we should nest these. So if we do this, and then do these, and this, and then we can do return this. Now we can separate these out. Let label str goes this. And I'm just gonna put that there. Then cage ID. Cage ID is cage.cage ID. Yeah, okay. Oop. Killer cages before yada yada yada. All right. All right. Cage sum string not defined. Cage sum string. It's defined right here. Look, it's here. Ah, am I? Ah, okay. Yeah, well, we know that works now. Valid comms not defined. All right, well. Cage info, cages. Cage 0. All comms, filtered comms. All right, so it's no longer valid comms, it's filtered comms. So we're gonna do something like cage ID and filtered comms and all comms. And whatever else we need. Then we'll have cells. All right, X comms is not included, so that's the thing we need to sort out as well. And is val included? All right, so we have all those. Is val exc. Is val exc. So for now, I'm gonna just gaslight these. Nothing to see here. You are just going to return true, I guess. And we'll do the same thing for isVal excluded. Except here we're going to return false. We can always return false, I think that's what we want. isVal forced false. All right. So what does it look like now? Yeah. So the problem is, for example, right now, this is actually, is this accurate? Are these three? So right now it's considering these as independent cages, right? But of course, if there's numbers in these, they cannot be in the other two. The problem is it doesn't actually take that into consideration right now. And I was thinking about how to do that with, basically with overlapping cages. So to basically have another virtual cage for the whole column. But now a number can be in two cages at the same time. It can be in the column cage as well as in the 18 cage, for example. Like this list is not super useful at the moment. And I don't know if it's intuitive of how it works. And we probably want to mark the outies as well, at least. So the outies are the cage where I think... How do I distinguish them? I think the outies have... I think the outies aren't actually marked in any way right now. So I think the outies should be marked explicitly. Get case from selection. Where are we calculating the outies? Out cage. Outies. True. Hey, Shelby Lee, how are you doing? So now, one of these cages will be true for outies. So now we can say, and maybe that's a little bit too glib, is outie. Outie? How do you spell outie? Holy crap. And now we can change the label HTML to if, and then we can put it up here. No if. Is outie something like that, I don't know. If I do this, what does that look like? Outies. The labeling here is a little maybe I can shorten that. So what if I do outies and then here I'll do cage if I do this and cage, no, cage IDX, something like that. And then we'll do the size in square brackets like an array. I might have to change that later on because apparently not everybody's a programmer. Yeah, I don't like this. How do I label the sum and the size without, you know, in a very tight space without like being super explicit or implicit or whatever? In fact, what the hell's going on here? Like there's a weird, what? There's a comma. Okay, there's a comma that got its own li. How did that happen? Wait a second. Li. So we have li label, ul, combos, and then we have another li and another label. Oh, because we're not joining them here. I think that's why that is, yeah. Maybe the size is less important than the sum. The spacing between the 18 and the size is just really dodgy. And what if we do this? Ugh. I think the label is centered. Why is this label centered? I think text line is this? No. So what do we call this? Comms and cages. Something like that. Ah, no. No, 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 no. Can I put the padding in the label? Wait, what? How's that work? What? Margin? How annoying. Display block. Yeah. How are you doing, Shelby? What are you up to? So let's bring the functionality back, because we have this stuff going on. We have something, right? And we can tweak it for a million years. So right now, clicking on this stuff, clicking on this stuff doesn't do anything. How was that handled previously? Handle click details. Oops. Yeah, this is not gonna be a quick finish, unfortunately. I think it's gonna take me a couple of sessions to figure. Like, I have the data, but to present it in such a compact format is really difficult. So, I might have to change how I trigger, how to detect what I'm clicking at here. And I'm gonna stop outputting all of this stuff here. So I'm clicking on this. I gotta click, handle click details, tag name span. And we're not really looking for this now. So we need to be a little bit more specific. I might have to add a data tag for each of the values. Ah, Factorio. It's one of those games that I don't dare touch because I feel like it would suck me in forever. I'd love to play it though. I played it a little bit, but I get addicted to these games. Did I find any way to fix the ability to scroll on mobile view and touch inputs? Fix what exactly? What's the problem you're trying to fix? I don't think my apps have outstanding issues right now. At least nothing major in that regard. I definitely had my fair share of problems. I had to actually implement some of my own scrolling behavior just because of that. Not that that's the right way of doing it. It was just like I was fed up trying to figure out what they expect you to do. Especially Safari with all its bugs. All right, so I'm waiting for a span click. So I'm waiting for one of these vowels, right? So we're getting a, so we're either getting an LI click or a span click. If we're getting a span click, we're here. And then we can say, you can say class list. I think I should be able to just two-string it, right? Span, click, class list, digit. Okay. And then let's see if we can get the other things. So cage ID and combo ID. And I don't know if these will be there. Cage ID 2, combo ID 0. All right. Oh, yeah, no, I'm not. You mean for this particular thing? Well, I probably have to use the same thing that I used for this for scrolling, but I'm not going to look into this until the tool is actually working. I'm not really concerned about mobile until it's working. All right, so... And maybe I shouldn't be doing this enhanced edition. Maybe I should have left the simple version only. To be honest, when I was testing it, I didn't even realize. I thought the Sudoku one, as far as I could tell, it basically, if you... Like, the only things I figured out was that if you touched a singular cage, it loaded that into the calculator. And if you touched two partial cages, it wouldn't load anything. I didn't realize that if you combine multiple cages, it gives you that, the combined sum, right? 29 less than 45. What does that mean? 29 less? Oh, that's just like extra info, I guess. 4 less than 45. That means that's a 4. All right. Yeah, they kind of copped out by not showing combinations for those cages. Like, I'm trying to be super clever here, and that could bite me, of course. And it probably will. Like, I might have to just roll it back and keep the simple version and then, you know, revisit it at a later stage. But for now, let's see. So I click this thing. I got a digit. And if I do this for this cage, what do we get? Update. Oh, okay, so the update right now doesn't actually take this stuff into consideration. All right. So, well, let's get that stuff started. So we should be able to just do this. Cage to HTML. Let cage info. This for now. Right? So cage info. Now if I click this, inclusives have changed. Okay. And then down here, what am I doing with these cage infos? Cage, selected cage, get cell vowels, splice, ink vowels, cage vowels, selected cage. All right. Let's output. Wait, no. What am I looking at? Cage info, all comms. All comms, 96. All right. Cage. Cage, cage IDX. And I'm gonna do this. So at the moment, I'm just ignoring the selection. Let me see. Do we have any new viewers today that aren't usually here? I don't think so. I think it's just the usual suspects. So let's see. I'm looking at these guys here. We have the cage data. So apologies if it's a bit small. I'm gonna embiggen the text a little. And we're clicking it, yada, yada, yada. We're not taking it into consideration. So now we need to build all of these. And we need to look at I'm gonna... man, I can't believe I left this for a week and my brain has already forgotten. So cage values are the actual values entered into those cages. So if I put a 1 here, in fact, it figures that stuff out. We have cage info, cage vals. Yes. So cage.vals is our cage vals. So cage vals splice. Well, let's forget about that for a sec. Let's just gonna put this here. Right. And we're gonna do cage vals equals cage.vals. Now, ink is what we're getting out of this. Right. Excluded combinations. All right, that's fine. Don't need that anymore. Cage vals has already been declared. Where? Pray tell. 260. So we already have that information. Unexpected token of 262. I put a stray plus there. Yeah, I've seen Jess around. He's been managing affairs behind the scenes. Yeah, you should pop by more often because I think you have some valuable feedback to give and encouragement to get to work on the right stuff, which I need a lot. All right, now it's breaking somewhere else. Contains val. Contains val. Let's move that up here. All right, so if I click this now, yeah, so my markings are back. I can do this. These are excluded because we have no 1 here. No, this is a bit too small. So if I get rid of the 1 and I exclude the ones here, it doesn't take that into consideration yet. Okay, so that's the next thing we need. All right. I don't know what you guys think. I mean, this works better with the minified view. The problem is, right now, putting a 1 here doesn't exclude it from... or does it? Wait a second. How does that work? It excludes it from the other cages. How does it know to exclude it from... Uh-oh. Is there some crosstalk? One of the problems is you might select something like this, and I cannot presume rows, columns, and all that stuff. So it's a little bit of a... All right, let me disable my pre-selection here and actually make it react to the mouse selection, the actual selection. So if I do this, okay, so like this, we have cage 0, and I should, if there are, yeah, first of all, that's silly. Those numbers need to be increased by 1, and secondly, these I need to calculate. Okay, that needs to be done. The label string comes from here. This needs to be +1. What's Toby doing by the door? Our dog is hilarious. There's like a spot by the door where we usually give him medicines and stuff. And my girlfriend just went into the medicine cabinet to get a medicine for herself, and he immediately went to his spot and lied down in front of the door. And I think he's really nervous right now, thinking that he's gonna have to swallow something that he doesn't want to swallow. Poor guy. All right, Audis, 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 cage 1. So if there's only Audis, obviously I need to unlabel, or basically not label that if the length is, you know, less than whatever. So I think if I do this, I can just grab the stuff from there, right? Cage IDX 0. The value before cage IDX 0 is rest. Ah, so that's the array. Cages. So we can say if let cages.length is greater than 1, let, whoops. So we're gonna invent a name for the cage. Where were we? Where were we? Let cage name. Oh, give me some breathing space. Cage that is greater than 1. It's this stuff. Right? Or is smaller than equal to 1, then it's nothing. Else it's this stuff. And we gotta put the line break here. Basically. Like that. And now, you'll take Toby on your own today? I don't think I'll manage. Alright. Do you need me to prep anything before you come back? No. Alright, have fun you guys. You going to your cousins? Yeah. Oh, lucky Toby. Oh, Toby's going for a walk without me. Lucky doggy. Alright, and now I'll just put that in here. And we probably want to log it out. Nope. No, nope. And ciao guys, have fun. Ooh, they're gonna have all the fun without me. Rest is not defined. Ah, back already, that was quick. Tiptoeing behind you. Oh, check myself. It's off topic. Oh, unimportant. Alright, so yeah, so now when we have only one cage, except right now, we shouldn't have any cage. That's curious. What's going on here? Let me check. First of all, let's do this. And then we can look at going on up here. So cage info. Ah, okay. So we're running out from here right now. So basically, I don't know what that's here. It's just for testing if. Oh, because all cages can have selected cages. Selected cage, no valid cage selected. I don't think any of that is relevant anymore now. Like, if we get the cage info first, it's already been declared. Let's see. Cage info current cell. So we have no select. Why is cage info? Oh no, cage info's got nothing here. And why is it doing all that? Cage info.cages. Cage info cages is an array with nothing in it. Oh, I think. Why does this happen here? All right, I guess what's happening right now is that nothing is getting cleared out. So if cageinfo.cages.length equals 0, then we need to do this and return. Right. So we're just clearing the thing. And right now it's not cleared. But what the heck? Why is this not cleared? Selected cells. There's a selected cell. Okay, so there's definitely a bug where it doesn't show the last selection, even when there's a selected cell, right? Like we shouldn't have any selected cells right now. No valid cage selected. Now I press 1, I press 2, I press 3. And that way you can also do kind of custom cages by just selecting multiple cells. The problem is if you have a grid full of existing cages, you might not be able to create your custom. Well, you might. We'll see. So the exclusion, because this is now a that's the other problem, is right now the cages are defined by the cells I've selected, so I can't modify the cage. It all depends on how people use it. If I do this, right, I get these two cages and I get 9 outies, or 9 options for the outies. The problem is, if there's a 1 here, how does it know the 1 cannot be here? I'm not entirely certain how it does that exclusion right now. And right now, it's this at the top here. It's kind of 2 out of 5. Wait, what? Oh, because it's not calculated correctly. So what do we need here? We need the sum string. So let's see, cageinfo.cages.for each. And then for each cage, we'll need cage, and we'll go cage.min sum, I think. Min sum, max sum, size. Cage.size, cage.min sum, cage.max sum. And from those 3 bits, we basically calculate that stuff, right? So 5, 15, 31. 5, 15, 31. If I select that whole row, it'll be these 3. So then the all count is that cage all combos, filtered combos. Okay, so we're gonna do min sum equals 0, max sum equals 0. I think that's what we want, right? All right. Then we'll need minimum sum, maximum sum. We need valid count 0, all count 0. Nope. I'll just put this over here. This week, next week's streaming will be tricky because of my morning contract. But I wanna keep doing it. I'm all discombobulated just because I hadn't streamed much last week. So maybe at least like an hour in the evening, or maybe every other day or something like that. I gotta figure that out. So all count will be cage dot all comes dot length. So this is all comes dot length. And then filtered count cage dot filtered counts dot length. Then up down to here, we're gonna output all of these. Filtered count. Then min sum. That's the minimum. And we can probably get rid of those references. So all comes filtered comes min sum max sum size. And then size, I don't even know if we really need it. All right, so then we can do this, 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 and max, max, max. And then size, I think we combine them. Total size. That'll go here. All count, filtered count. No, min sum. Min sum, lose sum, right? All right. Sorry, this is not super exciting. This is all just monkey work. Just gotta repeat the pattern until everything falls in place. Already cleared. There we go. So, for example, all combinations is 21. All comes. That's basically what I'm calculating here anyways. All comes. All count 21. Filtered count not available. Filtered count. Filtered comes dot length. Right, so minimum sum and maximum sum. Math.min, min sum. Yeah, alright, this was a stupid idea and it's just gonna cause me a headache. So let's just do this. I don't know. I'm completely blind to stuff like that. No idea how I did not even see that. How silly that was. Right. So, what we got? 96 combinations. All count. Filtered combinations 65 because of the 1. Minimum sum, maximum sum 924. Alright. So some string down here. Well, that's some string. Min sum, some string. Did I not use that up here? Min sum, yada 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 yada. Where are our little helper functions? Min sum. So if we do Let's make some. We'll just do this min sum max sum. Min max, and then we'll just do this thing here. All right. Min sum max sum. Then we have all count and filter count. And that's our text content here. And then we don't need this. This we can probably move up here as well. So if I now do this, sum is between 9 and 24. Well, that doesn't sound right. And because it isn't, because these are additive, right? I made that same mistake last time as well. I don't remember exactly where, but the exact same mistake. And these are just zeros. They're all zeros. So, I select these now. The sum is between 38 and 53. Now that's because this tool doesn't know anything about 45 and rows and columns and all that stuff. And quite a few combinations are gone. Now what I don't know for sure is this. So for example, if I have a 1 here, I don't know how this thing deals with the fact that, like, I think it doesn't let you select, like, it doesn't work well with, yeah. The problem is it treats your selection as a group of 45 without duplication. So it doesn't actually work for certain usages. Like doing this, it won't let you have a 1 down here. Like, it doesn't take into consideration that the 19 cage actually could have a 1 in it. So, in fact, I don't even see the 19 cage in here. I'm starting to think that I'm barking up the wrong tree, and this is not the way to implement this feature. Basically, what I wanted to do is I wanted you to be able to select multiple cages and kind of mark off combinations for all of those cages simultaneously. But, like, first of all, the list is getting way too long, and even with the shortened version, there's always going to be too many combinations available for the list to really be useful. Like, now I could make them collapsible and everything, but then what are you really getting out of it? And then you have to kind of mentally map that this cage 1 is this and this cage 2 is that and all that. I don't like it. I like the simplicity from before. Because this would enable people to do certain things. Like, people are saying, oh, you know, I want to be able to select like this, for example, right? And now I could say, okay, this cage cannot include this, whatever, right? It can't include a 2. Speaking of which, it doesn't actually take that into consideration yet. All right, let me salvage what I can from the work I've done. So let me move any kind of general functions higher up. Kind of any simplifications I've done. So p clear summary. For example, you know, let's move some of these things into helper functions. I'll just do this. And I can just do this dot clear summary, return, and do this. And then this we can just get rid of. Right. And we do the same thing up here. Return this dot clear summary. Right. Min_sum has already been declared. Did I have all of this commented out? probably. Unexpected token. 365. Why is that unexpected? Why would that be unexpected? This one? So, make some string. Some string. Count. Make some string. All right. I kind of want to, man. I want to simplify all of this. This doesn't even use selected cells. It just uses select the get cages. So we can just do this. I still don't understand how this can start out as undefined all over the place. Min-sum has already been declared. Probably this stuff we can probably... probably this stuff we can probably, yeah. Let me think. I don't want to throw away all the work either, to be fair. So... like another thing I'm missing is that I can select one cell in a cage and it would just select the whole cage. So I'm thinking, first of all, what I gotta do is I gotta preserve the code so I don't accidentally, reverse everything and do it up. So step one will be to take all this stuff and pull it out. Now the problem is these are dependent on these guys, right? And I think maybe we can just simplify these. Included values, excluded values, contains val, is val excluded, is val included, is val forced, contains val, cage val. So I'm gonna just rewrite these for a second. Just my brain is not running at peak performance right now. So all of these are literally just array checks, right? And they are checking using contains value here somewhere. Contains val, here we go. So I'm starting to think maybe we can have, we have this cage to whatever function. Where'd it go? Where did it go? Cage to HTML, there we go. What does it do, right? It creates the label with a sum size, yada, yada, yada. That's specific to this thing. But then it takes the combinations and creates this thing. And this is basically the same as what we had down there. So we have these two calls, right? All right, step 1. I'm gonna make sure that code still works. By going all the way to the top and getting rid of this and putting that back in and checking if that still runs how it did before. Now that doesn't seem to do this anymore. Shoot. Because I've changed the styling. Yes. Okay. So we now need this UL. K just doesn't apply here. So this UL needs to be combinations. So I can select this and I can exclude the 2 and I can exclude this. And okay, so that works. All right. So now I'm going to wrap part of this up in a way that makes it compatible with what we have up top. All right. So all combos here, you have the valid string, we have all of this stuff. We don't care about that for a sec here. This, all combinations, valid combinations, including vals, excluding vals, include comps. All comps get killer combinations. Excuse me. So this piece of code gets a cage ID and then cage, get cell vals, get cage vals, selected cage. Do we need anything else besides the cage? All comps. Don't think we're using all comps here. So I'm just trying to see if to produce this bit here, what we need, right? And I don't think the wrap digit and wrap combo, that needs valid comps, fair enough. But wrap digit here, and what do we call it up here? We call it HTML or the value to HTML or whatever, which is fine. We can do that rename here. This part only uses these 3 functions. So we're going to move this next to these 3 functions. And these functions aren't used anywhere else. And I'm starting to run out of vertical screen real estate here. So include, exclude, and forced. So they're completely, you know, included vowels. But they're used down here. Contains val cage vowels. Is val forced? Forced vowels, okay. Is val included, excluded, forced? Okay. I think I'm gonna get rid of these little functions here. And we're just gonna do contains val is what? Val is val. We're gonna change that here to be like this. Right? And then we're just gonna change this. It's val inc. Inc vals val. This val exc. Excluded values. And contains val cage values. I think then these 3 won't be used anymore. That was just an extra level of redirection that seems completely unnecessary. Okay, so now I can get rid of these. So I still have these 3 errors that go into this thing, but we've reduced the number of functions we're using. So we're getting a combination coming in. We have a cage ID, combination ID. And then instead of wrap comp, we can say comp to HTML. Now, to be honest, the only reason I didn't use this up there is because it became unnecessary. And I'm not sure if that's actually a good thing or not. So these, yeah, so we're always not using this. Included vowels map number. Included vowels map number. Filter combinations. Filter combinations. Filter combinations is actually a fairly large function, yeah. So I want to be very careful. Let's rename that to filtered. So it's just using the same terminology as above. So that still works, good, all right. All right. These having to be mapped like this. Wonder if I can just do this up here. But this was like super high efficiency code, right? So, all combinations, filtered combinations. This stuff here now, included vowels, excluded vowels. That's why I keep going back and forth, because I'm using this in two places, right? You know what, I'm gonna get rid of this as well. I don't think it's used anywhere else anyways. Except up here, yeah. I'm gonna just get rid of that. So we're just gonna put this little thingy there. Wish I would have copied that dot as well. And it didn't what happened? The frick? Copy that, what? Jeez. Why did it change it before I copied it? What the heck? Alright. Here we go. Then we don't need that anymore. Or we do? I think we're missing an extra brace here. Right. I was just tempted to pull this out, but we kinda this is the pulling out. This function is what's separating this from the rest of the thing, right? Is these include vowels, exclude vowels, and cage vowels? So this happens before all of this. Right. And cage vowels isn't used until here. Right. Cage. This stuff isn't used here, so that shouldn't happen there. Move everything as high up as possible. Okay. Cage ID. Ticks off selected cage. Okay, don't know why I'm changing this. Okay, that's fine. Do this. Cage is that, and that's cage. I mean, all of this is now just dependent on cage, I believe. Cage ID is only used for getting cage info. I'm just thinking, like, does it make sense to put all of this into a function? So we have a function const cage to display or show cage, right? And it'll basically does this, and then we'll put all of that in there, right? And then show cage can do stuff like this. Killer cages, selected cages, get cages. Get cages. This is a big function. It filters the cages and does that. Alright. So we do that out here, let's say. Do this, cage ID cage. Something like that. And are we using any of the other stuff? We're not using all cages, I'll get rid of it. Yeah, we're not using all cages. Selected cage is undefined. Let's not do this. In fact, let's do selected cage and then killer cages index of selected cage. Or shall we just do a relabeling here? We can do this and this, and we can get rid of that. And then we can do the same way we have that clear summary. We can do this. Kinda. And then here we'll just do this dot show cage. And let's see if it has any dependencies. This dot get cage info. This dot get cage info. B dot show cage. 237. This dot get cage info. Why not? No, it's not a bound function. Or it is a bound function. It's the opposite. Valid count is not defined. So valid count. Yeah, because I defined some of the stuff up here. Yeah. And where does valid count come into the equation? Here. All right. All right, so this function now is our show cage function, and then we move all the other stuff into something similar. We can do a p.show multi-cage. Just so we have all the code in a sensible place. If I just do this, right, I can comment out this for a sec here. Then current cells, we're just going to change this to cells, right? Get rid of that. Get rid of that. I don't think that's anymore is relevant anymore. That's not being used. Make some strings not defined because I moved it over here. All right, what else? Contains val is not defined. Right. So we've decided to get rid of those. So it's just going to be inc vals dot rip-a-dip-a-doop. We got rid of contains vals. How do they work now? Yeah, basically this. In fact, no. But now I'm just going to copy that. Right. Contains val. Where is it being used? 292. And now, this is our multi-cage methodology. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. And cage some string, is that compatible with the other one? Cage some string, because that also does the NA, right? So make some string, cage some string, right? Min max filtered comms. So we could just do this as well. Min max. What the hell just happened to the syntax highlighting? It did not like that. It did not like that at all. Min max, alright, gets rid of the sum. Makes this a bit shorter. All right. Oh, because I could just pass the cage in. That's why. I see. I see. All right, that's a good argument. Well argued. All right, now can we switch the other code to this as well? That's always the question, isn't it? All right, so, and I need to fix the thing that the selection doesn't get restored properly. Hey Andy, how are you doing? Oh, that's why I get confused. There's two of you. There's Andy Loring and Andy Whittaker. Oh man, I thought I was going crazy sometimes when I was like, why am I greeting this person? Didn't I talk to them earlier? Messing with my head. All right. So the NA thing, n/a, is being done here. So instead of that, let some string should be this dot cage string, and that should just be min sum, max sum, and valid count, which should actually be renamed to min sum, max sum, cage sum, filtered comms. This is weird. I don't like it. Something with the code folding not working correctly. You're gonna have to probably keep telling me that, to be honest. I should write this down or something. We need to get your FizzBuzz YouTube channel. I'll make it easier. All right, filter combinations. Valid count plus plus. Filtered combinations includes comb. If not filtered, execute. So this really counts filtered combinations, isn't it? So if I do this and this, the length of the one should be similar to the other one, right? So filtered combinations 3, valid count 3. So if I just pass filtered comps in here, I can just do filtered comps.length here. Min sum is not defined. Where? 235. Page sum, min sum, min. Did I not fix that? Did I not fix that? Min sum, max sum. So this make sum string now should no longer be required. Cage sum string, make sum string, cage sum string. Cage sum string, brain. All right. So, are we even using valid count now? No. So, goes away. Go away. I don't know why I was counting that in the first place. All of this goes away. Boom. All right. Now, let's switch back to the other one. I don't know why I'm optimizing both, but my brain wants me to make this code in such a way that if I come back to it in a week, I don't go crazy. Right now, I certainly would. See, the cold folding did not fold correctly here. So make sum string, cage sum string, label HTML text content. Ah, it's doing both. So I'm gonna just warn that so I can see where it is. And cage sum string. That's why, because we don't have a cage here. Oh, I'm an idiot. All right. And the valid count at the back, does that even make sense? It makes sense, because it does make sense. So I'm gonna have to figure that one out. In theory, we could still have an NA here. But yeah, but it gets rid of the make sum string. So I can now do this, get rid of that stupid freaking partial function there, and get rid of that. I just have so many little rubbish functions I need to clean up first. Then val to HTML. The problem is we still have these dependencies on these three arrays, right? So ideally what we really do is combine these things here in a way that works for both of these functions. And we're talking about these, and then these, and then come to HTML. Let's move it next to this so we can kind of, you know, see what we're talking about here. And include, exclude, yada, yada, yada. So this and this should be fairly simpler. Come to map, bound to HTML, join it, includes comp ID, comp yada, 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 cage ID, comp ID, filter comps, exec, exclude comps. And then we have inc vals, exc vals, cage vals, right? Now, ink vowels and X vowels are right here. So everything that's come into this so far is this. So it's these, it's the cage info really. Which we have here. Ink, X, cage vowels. And we have this, which updates cage vowels. No, wait, it replaces it. That's a little odd. Splice 0 length actually sets its length to 0 and then inserts get cell vowels from cage.cells. So if we did that here, that actually replaces both of these. But we need a let then, okay. So if we do this now, right, this is our multi-cage display. Okay, so this chunk of code is currently the same as that chunk of code. So we just need to see what's passing in. We're passing in cage ID and cage. Are we passing in anything else? We have cage vowels in here, ink vowels, X vowels. The ink vowels actually are a result of these two. Problem is we need them down here as well. It's the only annoying thing because we're also using it for the filter and I didn't want to redo them, but it might be worthwhile doing that. Cage vowels comes also from these. Excluded vowels are used here. Okay, let's see if we can wrap this into a function. So, the problem is, wait a second, we need to actually call this as well. So this would return a function that does this, basically. Or we just pass this in as well. All right, let's do this. So if we do this, comes to HTML, right? And we have all comms, filtered comms. And then what else? We have, and I think we're gonna pass this in as an object for our sanity's sake. So we have a cage ID. So far it's gonna do all of this. And ultimately it's gonna do this. And then we should be able to replace this with this. And we pass it all this info. All combinations, filtered comms. And we're all doing this purely so we can then concentrate on the difference between these two ways of doing it. And then later on, you know, maybe we can even enable both or switch between them or whatever. But, you know, I'm trying to reduce my brain load because there's so much code that's duplicated that it's really hard to figure out what's going on. Problem is, I'm not using this method right now, am I? Nope. So I'm not actually testing it. Yeah. So now the problem is we're still using ink vowels down here. So we need to replicate this. And the problem is it's actually it's a bit messy. The thing is, man, for the other one, we don't need to filter them because we've already filtered them. So we do want to pass cage vowels in and not the cage ID. And we still need the cage ID, but we actually need this stuff out here. And then we're gonna do this here. And then we're gonna pass cage vowels in here. And then this goes away. Now, we still don't have these out here, but they are relatively cheap to calculate. So this one I can replicate here. And xvals we also need here. Filtere. I misspelled it somewhere. Hey, Poochie boy. Babe. I'll wind it up down now. I don't feel like I'm being super useful right now anyways. Includes are not defined. Where is that? 243. 243. So now I have to pass them in. Oh, how annoying. Let me just do this here as well. Screw it. It's a little bit more expensive, but in the grand scheme of things. Cage valves has already been declared. Cage valves, cage valves. Cage valves. Don't need them anymore. Cage is not defined. 242. Cage valves, cage. That's probably a better way of doing this. Cleaning this up that way. So we have the old behavior back at the moment. We've just kind of pulled it to pieces and put it back together in a different way. I'm still not happy with it. I'm still not happy with it. Ah, man. This stuff should really happen in a function similar to get cages from selection. And ideally, I could manipulate. I should be able to get the same data from that call. That's actually a good idea. So if I basically ask it to give me multi-cages for the cells that are part of this cage, once I have a selected cage, which happens in show cage, right? Because get cages does that for me. So here, if I output the cage itself, right? And then pass those cells into multi-cage. Like this. The question is, what comes out of there? Is that's the data that I'm calculating here? Because if that's the case, then great. I can switch my single cage method to use the multi-cage just for processing, basically. Oh, wait, no, I'm doing show multi-cage, not show multi-cage. I need to do get cages from selection, that's it. So, and then ultimately I should only care about the first cage. And all of this stuff, by the time you get to the bottom here, that should all make sense already. So if I do this, and just do that, right? And that should work even if I just select one. And now if I compare this data with what's coming out of all of this stuff, and if it matches, then I can remove all of that. And that's kind of, I think, what I really I've been trying to get to. So we have filtered comps. At least the naming is already homogenized. We have the min sum max sum stuff. And there's probably not much else at the end of the day. So we have all combinations, which should be 5. Filtered combinations, which should be 3. minimum sum and maximum sum. And then we have a bunch of other stuff. So that means I should now be able to do this and do oh, let's do this anyways. What I really can do now is comps filtered comps min sum and just pull them out of all of this. Right? So I select one of these. Now it's a 19k sum. Now I excluded 2. And I say there's a 4 here, or a 5, let's say. And there's only this valid. Now this should be crossed out. And I think that's a problem that I didn't have before, right? So if I get rid of these, put that back in, and I come back here. Nope. Come back here, click this, open this. And I say no 4s. Alright, so that's something I broke elsewhere. But I think I can now do this. And by broke, I mean that information isn't getting passed to the place that needs it. What am I calling? Comes to HTML. And comes to HTML does have excluded combinations. This cage info. I have a vague memory. The excluded combinations were joined together. I'm gonna look at the old code diff. Ye old code diff. We have ripped everything out and moved everything around a million times. Right, so it's looking at excluded combinations to do the invalid and exclude. Filtered combinations, invalid. Filtered combinations. Because these aren't getting filtered at that point. They get filtered. No, wait, but this code base. There was, oh man, I can almost remember that code. There was a line that took care of filtering those out. So we have turn, valid combinations, valid comps, filtered combinations. So we have that call here somewhere. Yeah, let's show multi-catch. I'm looking at filtered combinations here. This should filter that combination out. Shouldn't it? Wait a second. So yeah, that code is there. It should work. It should be filtered out if it's in that list. And if it's not in that list, why would it not be in that list? So filtered combinations. These are filtered. Meaning these are the remaining ones. But we've excluded the 2. So why are the filtered ones here still including the 2? If I do this and not do this, select here, exclude the 2. Yeah, so I wasn't filtering those out in this code. Why not? I think there was a good reason for that. But it it eludes me at the moment. Cages for each filtered comps. Filter combinations includes, exclude vowels. Is it because the excluded values aren't being handled correctly here? Excluded vowels. Let's get rid of the handle click details. Logging. Let's make a warn out of this one so we can find it in the log. And let's make sure it's actually being used. Click this one. Exclude the twos. Okay, so right now this is not being used. And if I switch this back in, not this, this back in, click here and exclude the twos. So excluded vowels are not shown here. And here, excluded vowels come from cage info. And I don't, am I even looking at cage info here at the moment? I don't think so. I think this expects additional filtering to happen afterwards. Now, if that's the case, am I actually saving anything? Because I'm going to have to do this anyways. So what am I saving here? This call, basically. Yeah, I think I need to rethink how I'm doing that. To be honest, even this here is way too complex because I should be able to subdivide it into the cages and then do all the regular stuff. In fact, in a way, I'm already doing that here. The question is, do I revert or do I accept the refactoring I've done so far as refactoring and then take it from there? Because this itself is like a large complex function. It's not complex in what it does, it's complex in, well, actually it is. It took me an intense day of thinking to figure that out, so... So for now, this does not include filtering. This does not yet include filtering according to get cage info. And then if we put that back, that'll work. We don't need that. So did I just close that? So this works now. Yeah, I've noticed I need to make this a little bit bigger. It's really difficult to touch it on mobile. Alright, we can get rid of a bunch of this stuff here as well. And I think these should be all stuff from here that'll disappear. We want to get rid of this. At least I seem to be removing as much as I'm adding, which is how it should be. I can always do this for testing purposes. Okay, I think that's okay. All right. This we don't need. Nope. To run this one. Actually, let's. In case I want to actually push this into testing. I mean, it wouldn't harm having this sit in testing, even though there's no change in the behavior, just to make sure the code itself gets the testing. Let's see if we can change, if we can, let me find a cage that has a lot of options for the scrolling. Come on, give me one, give me one. No? All right. These should have a lot of options. Yeah. So, this is responsive. Let's change it to... The problem is I can scroll with scroll wheel. Okay, so... Because I'm using key mouse down. If I change this to mouse up, maybe that'll work. Add up eventually. I'm wondering if there's a touch. Add down, add up. Touch up. The problem is if I do it on the up event handler, it might still interfere with touch scroll, unfortunately, because after scrolling, it might register the up event, you know? Yeah, so I can't even do that. If I change them both to down event, to up event. No, the real fix has to be timing based, right? Because you can't accept the click right away. This is a little strange because this shouldn't be happening like that. Because right now it should only be on the down event, and the down event shouldn't have happened yet at that point. I click here, and I click here. Touch event. What event did it register for? Touch event. Yes, touch end. Okay, clear. Click here. It minimized it without getting to this, without logging anything here. What the heck? Oh, wait, there's another one. There is another one. What the? On act start. It immediately changes, but then it only logs when I'm releasing. The frick? What the hell is going on here? So here we're gonna warn, we're actually gonna error, toggle open. And that's the only place where open is toggling. Clear this, select the cage. Go here. Go here. No valid cage selected. Okay, so the problem is, if we don't disrupt that, it basically causes us to deselect if we don't prevent the default. So this is actually going to be really tricky. And if we don't prevent the default, and if we do prevent the default, we're killing the scrolling. So it's my suspicion is basically correct that I think, and I'm just going to see if I can undo this cheekily. I might have to implement my own scrolling from scratch, which is a little annoying. But I have done it before. And I've done it specifically. Let's get out of here. If I look at this, And search for puzzle rules in script. Maybe. Maybe I can find it. Yeah. Handle rules, scroll. And this is already intimidating to me. Oh my god. Yeah, I had to jump through quite a few hoops apparently to make this work. So it might be worthwhile to make this generic. And then let it be used for other things. Handle, scroll. And then if I just do all of this... Surely I didn't do this all in one place. Remove add, remove add. Ah, so it just made sure that it didn't have it... didn't double add it, basically. But if I try this here... and then this wouldn't be on puzzle rules. This would be on details element. This is a fairly horrific thing to do here. And I'm tempted to just rip it out again, but I just want to quickly test if that actually does do the trick. I need to be more about view. This is probably gonna massively interfere with itself. Yeah, because right now I can't even open it. What if I do this one first? But I think it won't work either, right? No. Yeah, I'm gonna remove that. It's too risky. That's gonna be a separate issue to solve. And it probably means I have to try to make that scroll handler generic so I can reuse it from other places. Maybe move it into framework or something. Like mobile, custom mobile scrolling. What a pain in the butt, though. It's really badly designed, that part. Well, there's a lot of parts that are badly designed, but this one is quite badly designed. And, you know, the browser manufacturers could have done better. And the standards party, let's be honest. Alright. I shouldn't have to deal with something that I can't click it and scroll it or, you know, I have to pick between scrolling and being able to interact with the thing. I mean, you know, that seems a bit silly. Do I have something with actual cages? Alright, let's... Hey GeoJessa, how are you doing? Let's finish this one out with actually playing a game. And one with killer cages, so maybe I can actually use my killer cage calculator here. Now, for something like this, the multi-cage would be great, right? Because it'll tell me that, hey, you know, we have a 9, and we have an 18, and together there are 27. So these three... Actually, we want to have a larger sum, right? 29. Can we get bigger? 19 plus 12, that's 20, 31. So it's 14 and 3, that's actually not super helpful. 10 plus 21, that's 31. That's the same. Also not super helpful. Alright, maybe on the smaller end after all. It's 27. 27, let's get to 30, that's 3. Plus 15, that's 18 and 3. It's also not super helpful. Maybe these guys are more helpful. 32. Then we have 4 that need to add up to 8 plus 5, 13. Ugh, that's almost good. And in the other extreme, we have 19, so we have 4 that need to add up to 26. It's also almost good. Interesting. Maybe, now that I'm looking at it, if these are all... Digital register must be even. These are all even cells. Alright, let's fill those in because there's a lot of even cells in the corner boxes, which probably will make things quite a bit easier. And these are all odds. Because now I have to say, hey, how do I make 9 with only one even number, right? So like no 2, 4, and 3, that kind of thing. And there might be some that are harder to do that way. So, for example, could this have a 2 in it? No, because if a 9 with a 2 is a 2, 3, 4, so we know it has a 1 in it. Now that we know that it has a 1 in it, and only one even number at most. In fact, if it's an even number, if 9 is odd, take 1 out of an odd number, it becomes even. If there's an even number in it, there would be 2 evens, so it has to be 2 odds, 3 odds in total. So the even number is actually in the 18. So we can say, okay, give me an 18 that has exactly 1 even number. So 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, that has 3, that's not an option, that's got 1, alright. Let's give us a 9, so it's gotta have a 1 in it, so it's not this one. And it can't have any even numbers, so it's gotta be a 1, 3, 5. That means here we now can exclude the 1s, 3s, and 5s, and it's a 2, 7, 9. And that tells us these don't have a 2 in them. And we are using our thingamajig, Wait a second, but this can't have a 4 in it. I made a mistake. Made a mistake. Oh, that's a 1, 3, 5. Alright. So, gotta be careful. This is still 2, 7, 9. Alright. And then these still don't have 2s in them. Alright. Anything else like that that's relatively easy to handle? 7, 9. So we have these here. 4, 6, 8, 2s. 2, 7, 9. Alright. What else we got? We got a 10 with at most one odd number. That's not a problem. So can't have a 6 and 8. Can't have a 4, 8. So that's a 5, 7, 9. So now we know this one can't have a 5 in it. Or a 7. So it's a 1, 3, 6. And it tells us these have 6s in them. So the killer calculator here is actually working pretty well. You're just catching me on my final round before dinner. Oh, something is smelling of, I think, cheese. I wonder what's brewing. Alright, can't be this one. We can only have one even number in here. Can't be this one. Can't be this one. Can't be this one. So that's a 1, 3, 7. It's super easy with a killer calculator. Can't have a 7 in it, can't have a 3 in it. And cannot have so many evens. So that's a 4, 5, 9. So that has the 4 in it. So these don't have 4s anymore. And now finally, do the same thing here. Can't be this one. Alright, what about this one? Can't be this one, can't be this one, can't be this one, can't be this one. It's 3, 7, 9. And then this one cannot have a 7 in it, not a 9, not a 3, and it's a 1, 5, 6. Therefore these aren't 6. There. Nope, I don't want that. Is that not a 6? Okie. So, now we have a problem because both of these have a 6 in it. So one of these two has to be a 6. They can't all be in here. But they could both be out here, I guess, in theory. But they also both want a 1. Okay, so these two... So there's definitely got to be a 5 here. And there's definitely got to be a 3 here. Right. So this is a... So there's a 1 and a 6. Okay, so it's a 1, 3, 5, 6, whatever, quadruple. Alright, and that's a 2, 4, 8. So we have 6 is gone. 1, 3, 5 is gone. So that's a 7, 9 pair. Alright. I guess we have something similar down here. Or somewhere else. 2 and 4. 9s. I think here the problem was we had 2 overlaps, right? 1 and 6. I would have thought this would have given me more so far. But because they're all overlapping, it's not that easy. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Any of these are a possibility. What about this one? Ugh. Don't really have much limitations on these. Well, let's see, it's a sum of 32. So these 4 have to be 13. Also, I'm noticing we have overlaps of 1s and 3s on these guys. So we have to be a little careful. 3 evens here. So many 3 evens coming across. Here we have an overlap with the 9s. 7, 4. So only one of these can have, like, they can't be both 2 and 4. So one of these has to be a 2 or 4, which means the other one needs to be a 9, because we can only have one 9 in here. So out here, it's a 2, 4, 9. So 7 can never, because if a 7 is out here, we have a 2 and a 9 in here. No 9 in here. Now suddenly 4 and 2 would be gone, and we need 3 even digits here, right? So this can never be the 7, and this can never be the 5 for the same reason. If this is a 5, we have a 4 and a 9 in here. This won't have a 9, and now it would be a 2, 7. It's a similar situation to up here, but slightly offset. But that means we have a 7 here and a 5 here. And would both of these still be 9s? I'm not sure. We have a similar situation here. No, that only happens when we have 2 evens to worry about. But it means... what does it mean? I'm not sure what it means, actually. So, if this is not a 7, or if this is a 7 and this is a 7, we have a 1, 3 and a 5, 9 here, which is perfectly fine. Both of these obviously can't be 7s, so one of these two has to be a 7. This is actually... I thought after filling in the outer ring, it'll give itself up so easily. But it doesn't. I must have solved this one before, though. I thought I've solved all of them. I'm pretty sure I solved all of them anyways. Can we exclude? Yeah. I think we have to do some maths here, right? Oh yeah, I'm an idiot. We can do maths... no. Now we know which... No, we do know which 3 in each case, right? It's always 2. Yeah. I thought we can do maths to tell us which of the digits is not in those. But we've done that with the killer calculator instead. And I'm just realizing I'm only using half of my screen. So I should probably do this. Yes. Oh, I should do this. Because otherwise, yeah. Otherwise it'd be cut off. There we go. Feel like a real Sudoku tuber now. Oh, that's so large. I'm not used to playing on a big board like this. Large and blinding. 2, 4, 6, 4, 6, 8. I keep thinking that I can do something with figuring out what the final even digit would be. Like, if this is a 6, could it be? I mean, there's a 6 here or here. I feel like the 1 and 6s are here. Should mean something to me. It can have a 7 in it, can have a 3. It has a lot of options. There's a lot of options. This doesn't have a lot of options, right? So this has to have... So this has an 8 and a 9 in it, right? So this can't be an 8. This can't be an 8. So the 8... Don't know where the 8 is going to be, though. 8 and a 9. And then it either has a 7 or a 6. Or 5. 2, 3, 4. It doesn't have a 1 in it. So either this is a 1 or that's a 1. It's good to know. Interesting. We have another large one, 31, right? So this definitely has a 9 in it. So these are 9s. Oh, that's interesting, because now we have a 9 here and here. Which means none of these in the middle here are 9s. It can have a 1, though. It doesn't necessarily have to have an 8 either. Alright, what about the small one? Must have a 1 in it. Yeah, that doesn't help. And other than that, I think all the others are optional. And the 29 doesn't even have to have a 9 in it. Oh, but it does have a 9 in it, because there's no 9 here, no 9 here. So we know there's a 9 in it. What else do we know? 1, 3, 5, 2, 4. 1, 3, 1, 3, 5, 7. Yeah, no. All the other ones are still potentially in there. And this one, 1, 3, 6, 1, 3, 5. 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 6. 2, 4, 2, 4, 6. 2, 4. They're all optional. Does have a 1 in it. Doesn't have to have a 2 in it. 2, 4. There's no 3 on the outside, so we know it has a 3 in it. That excludes one of them. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nothing else. Alright. And this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All we know is this one has a 9 in it. Okay. So we've made a tiny bit of progress, but nothing mind-blowing here. Oh, wait. There's no 1s here. So this has a 1 in it. Oh, and that means it's this one. So it means it has a 6 in it. And what else does it have? 6, 7, 8, 9. So no 7. 1, 6, 7, 8, 9. No 3. No 8 on the outside. So the outsides will be 2, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ah. These are 1, 7, 8, 9. Alright. So that's not a 5. These aren't 3s, which gives us a 3 here. Alright, now we're making some progress here. We're not really doing the gaseous cooking just yet. This one now doesn't have a 2 or 4 in it. So no 2, no 4. So now we know this is a 3, 5, 7, 8, 9 cage. Which means no 5s here. 3, 5, 7, 8, 9. No 5s, no 1 here. And it does have a 3 in it, so this is a 6. Okay. No 1s here. 3. No 6s here. It's a 6 here. No 6 there. 1, 5, 2, 4, 8. 3, no 3 here. So there's a 3 here. This one now. Oh, okay. The 1s here. 1s. So there's a 1 here. The 5s. That's not a 5. 5 here. Wow, it's not a pushover. Expected this to be a bit of a pushover, to be honest. I don't know why. I find them usually quite easy, but I mean, it's not hard. Like, it's almost too much information. Maybe I'm gonna blame it on this ginormous image on my screen here. All right, 4, 9, 4, 9, 7, 9. So we have a 9 here and here, which means no 9s anywhere else in these 2 rows. So these are 9s. This could still be a 9. Ah, this one. What about this one? Don't really have a lot of information on them. 6s. 6 here. 2, 4, 8. Ah, wait a second. Here we... No 6s, so there's a 6 over here. They're not super useful. 6, 6, 6, 4, 8. 6 here, here. 2, 4, 8. 3, 7, 6, 7, 9 here. So 3 and 5 are both here in the center. I'm not sure if that's particularly interesting. These 9s. This 7, how does it interact with these? That's a 7. That's a 9. That's a 7. This is the 7. No, it doesn't really help. Alright, 9. This one we know has a 3 in it. We know that has a 1 in it. I mean, yeah. 5, 2, 5, 7, 9. 2, 5, 7, 4, 8. I'm trying to see if there's any digits that are forced in and out of those cages in some way. 7's here. 5s. There's got to be something with the 5s, right? Oh, let me change that to here. I wonder if anybody still uses the classic selection method. I wonder. The blue cage, the blue outline seems to be kind of the default selection method now. That was also a user suggestion. And at first I was like, what? You don't like my selections? But then I'm like, maybe. And now everybody likes it like that. Yeah, I don't... Man, I thought narrowing these down, but the cages are so big that narrowing them down, even exactly what's in there, doesn't really do that much. 7, 8, 4, 9, 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8. Threes here or here. 3's here. It's here. No 1, no 3. Don't even know if this has a 3 in it or not. Once. This can't be a 1. Not super useful. 7, 9. Man, why am I finding this so tricky? There's a 3 and a 5 here. 3 here. 2, 5, 2 4s. There's 8's over here. I think, yeah. I'm not sure about the 8's over here yet, because there could be one here or here, according to my markings. We know there's no 9's here, but that's hardly surprising. I think there's a 9 here or here. Over here, there's no 9 there, but there could be 9's all over the place down here. There's no 9's here, but they could still be here. Ah, wait a second. We know there's a 9 in here, and we know there's a 9 in here. So we... but we don't know where the 9 here... Ah, wait, no. So we know there's no 9 here. And outside of these cages, so there's a 9 here and a 9 here. No 9 up here. Those two 9's are the 9's in these two rows. And then these two 9's are the 9's in these two rows. We just don't know exactly where they are. But that's all the 9's over here. I don't know if that's actually not really useful, is it? God damn it. Thought I was onto something here. Let's see. We have 4 here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need 2 more even numbers for these 2 rows. That's also not useful. 1 even, 2 even, 3 even, and then the 8 is in here. Any suggestions? I see the other streamers, they always get so much help from their viewers. I'm a bit disappointed, guys. So I have this fancy cage calculator, right? And it's supposed to help me. It's supposed to make it real easy. So the problem is like this one, I'm still not sure if it has a 2 in it. Is there anything else I can tell about it? 4, 6, 8. Now all of them are optional. But the only other even number I can have outside besides these two is here. So this must have at least one even number. Okay, that doesn't help. We know it has at least 2. It has a 2 and a 6, 2 and a 4, 2 and an 8, or a 4 and a 6. So it has either a 2 or a 4 in it. So this cannot have a 2, 4 in it. All right. And this cannot have a 2 in it. Is that interesting? Maybe-ish. Maybe eventually. Maybe that's exactly what we have to do, right? So 4, 8, 6, 8. So for example, we know it can't be this one, right? And then 2, 4. Anything with 2, 4 in it, it can't be. All right. Actually, I haven't been looking at that way, right? So that might actually help. So this cannot have 2, 4 in it, and it cannot have 6, 8 in it. Okay. And this one cannot have 2, 4 in it. All right, but that one's already sorted. And this one can have 1 and 5 in it. It's not trying to. And it can have 1, 3, and 7 in it. Actually, it's not either. In fact, I'm pretty sure this doesn't have a 1 in it. But I'm not certain yet. Ah, but it can't have a 1 and a 2 in it, so this can't be a 1. And if this is a 3, this would have to be a 2 and a 4, so this can't be a 3. If it's a 5, this would have to be a 4 or 6, that's possible. It can't be a 7, because then this would have to be a 6 or a 8. And if it's a 9, this would have to be an 8. So now this one can only be 4, 6, or 8. So that's now an even number, which is interesting. And is there any of... So 5 and 4, for example. So I don't think we can have 5 and... No, we can. 5 and 6, yes. 8 and 9, 9 and 8, yeah. 8 and 9. 9 and 8. Alright. But we've got something here. Wasn't there another white dot somewhere? No, that's just that one. Alright. Alright. We have 3 evens, and then one of these could be. But obviously only one of them, not so many of them. Anything else I can see? No, 5, 7, and 9 at the same time. In fact... Oh. In fact, how did we exclude this one? How did we exclude this one? Ah, because it can't have 2 and 4 in it. So that means there's no 9 in here. There's a 9 here or here. Okay, there's no 9 in here. Anything else we can play? Ooh, getting closer. You have 5. Ooh. The 2 empty cells in box 8 are odd. The 2 empty cells in box 8 are odd. How do we know that? We have 2 evens. How do we know these are odd? How do we know that? We have 3 evens. We need one more even number. How can we make sure? How do you know this? Witchcraft. A 5 marked here. In row 8. In the 31 cage. Oh, this one. I'm guessing. Yeah. But how do you know these two? You have 3 evens known in row 7. Then one of the 4, 7, 8, 9 pencil marks must be even because there aren't enough odds for 3 cells. You have 3 evens known in row 7. Yes. And then one of the 4, 7, 8, 9 pencil marks. 4, 7, 8, 9 pencil marks must be even because there aren't enough odds for 3 cells. Why wouldn't there be enough odds for 3 cells? Oh, because there's only 7 and 9. Ah, you're right. One of them is a 4 or an 8. Sweet. So that's a 1, 5, 7, 9. Which means the remaining even has to be either here or here. Which isn't really that useful. But you're absolutely right. Now, the problem is... No, wait, only one of them can be, so... but we don't know which one, right? So one of them would be 4 and 8, and the other one is a 7 or a 9. But we don't know which of those. That's annoying. So we know one of those isn't a 7 or 9. Is that helpful? Don't think it is. But maybe we can do some similar shenanigans with this one, because we have the 4. We know there's one of these two is a 9. And then the other one is a 7 or a 5. Now we know there's a 1, 5, 7 potentially here. 7 or 5. So it's got to be this one without the 5. Or these without the 7, which is not helpful. Yeah. Hey, Casey Catro. Everybody's getting the end of my stream. That's what I get for living in a... Oh, wait. So we... In a similar fashion... Can we exclude even... No. There could be an even here. I was wondering if we could do the same thing for these two cells. We must use both 7 and 9 in row 7, column 1, 2, 9. 7 and 9. Ah, you're right. You're right. So this cannot... So that's a 5 and that's a 1. Ah, now that's helpful. You are absolutely right. And you see, you're a puzzling person. I'm not. I'm just a hobbyist, a dabbler. All right. So that means there's a 1 in here. Let's see what we can do with the 5s. 7, 9. So here we have all these. It's not great. So 7 and 9 is used in either 4 or 8, which means 2 and 6 are in these for sure. Alright, so... Did this really help though? Or did it just make us feel good? The 6 over here. Does this have to have a 6? No. Not really. One of... These are all odd. These are all odd. So one of these is even. So we could mark that like that. Ah, and we know the 1 goes here. Finally. Does that help us anywhere else with 1s? I mean, we already knew there's 1. Ah, wait. No. So one of these is evens. Well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of what Sudoku is about, to be looking for the things. Ah, so let's do something similar. Odd, odd, odd. So these are all odd. I mean, I could have been playing this as an even odd puzzle for a while now, I'm guessing. These are evens. And then these are the maybe evens. I guess I could just do this. Oh no. This is probably not the productive use of my time. Ah, well, we knew this already, right? We knew where the evens and odds were. We have 3 here. Do we have to have an 8 here? No, because it could be down here. What about this column? It's a mixed bag. It is still a mixed bag. Odd. Odd. Even. Ah, why did I mark this one odd? I don't know if these are odd for sure. I think when I start color marking with color, I like leaving them just as squares. That's an odd. These are all odds. So therefore, this must be an odd, yes. Yes, yes, yes. 1 of row 7, 9, column 5. 7, 9, column 5. Column 5, 7, 9. One of those is a 4, because we don't have a 4 anywhere else. Alright, so we get a 4 here. Take the 4s out of here. May the 4s be... Ooh, T8 pair. So that's... Ooh. It actually gives us a digit, and it's a good one, because it's one of the evens, and that kind of will circulate around the board. in a variety of pretty ways. 8 here, 2, 4. Alright, 4, 2, 8, 4, 6. 8, 4. So we have a 6 over here. Ah, wait. So now we got all of these going because we got the 8. That's a 6. That's a 2. 9, 7. So that's a 4, 9. 7. There's a bunch of stuff over here. That 9 makes that a 7. And that makes these two a 1, 9 pair. Nope, that's not what I want to do. There's an 8 here or here. That's not a 9. 6, 8 pair. 6, 8 pair. 2, 8, 6, 8. That makes that a 2, 8, and 8's down here. No 8 there. That's a 2 because we have a 4, 6 down here. No. I'm just kind of scanning quickly. Wait a second. This can't be a 9 anymore, so that's a 5. That's actually really useful. Because that... Nope, that gets a 5 over... No! 5 over here. Wait, I just mispressed the wrong button a couple of times. 5, 5. Here. No. Why did I think that? I could still be here. Alright, let's focus. Focus. Takes the 5 out of the middle. Why did I take a 5 out of there? That is the 5, because it's not over here. So now that can't be a 5. Now that's a 3. And that takes a 3 out of there. 3's in here. 1, 5 because of this one here. Takes care of these guys. And 5, 7, 9. Yeah. Let's 2 over here. The 4, 6, the 8's go here. Should be in the home stretch now, I reckon. This can't be a 4. So we got a 6, 8, 6, 8, 6, 4. 4. Alright, these are all offset. Okay, there's a 1, 7 period in the middle. And just scanning for all the easies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This can't be a 6 or an 8 or a 4, so that's a 9. So this is not blue, and this should be our blue, which means that is our, well, it's a 6, 8. So because of the 8 over here, that's actually a 6. That's not an 8 or a 9, so that's a 4, 6 pair. That is the rest of the 5, 7 triple that starts up here, but no 9s. And we have a 7 down here and a 9 down here because of this 9. And this is a 5, that's a 7, that's a 1. That's a 1 over here, 7, 9 in the middle, so that's a 3. And come on, almost done. 7, 1. Ah, 7 here, 5 here. Now I'm trying to, oh, no, what am I doing? Oh, I made a mistake. What doesn't add to 29? What does not add to 29? What did I do wrong? Where's the 29? Yeah, you're right. That doesn't add to 28. All right. I've been running blind, and I really don't like the board being this big in my face. Maybe I should scoot back. This 2, 5, 6. So this has to have a 2 in it. So this can never be a 2. When did that happen? We're gonna have to go back ways. Almost to the point where I'm wondering if it's faster to start over. So at this point, this could still have a 2 in it or not have a 2 in it. And I felt like I was just doing basic resolutions. I wasn't doing anything fancy. So let's see if any of these got resolved. So we know this has a 3 in it. We know it's got a 1 in it because there's not ones on the outside. So we know it doesn't have a 6 and an 8 in it. It can have a 2 and a 4 in it. Can have a 4, 5, any of these combinations? Yes. It doesn't have a 9 in it, so there's 9 out here. Alright. One of those is a 9. It could have a 7 in it if this is a 5 and this is the 9. Alright, so I don't think we're gaining much from this guy. 4s. But why do I have a 4 here? Ah, because of the 2, 8. Alright. So that forces this cage to not have a 2 in it. Now, are there any other limitations for this one? So it's got a 9 in it. It's got to have one of these in it. 4, 6, or 8. It's got to have an 8 and a 9 in it, or a 5 and a 4. This could be an 8, 9 one, but this one would have to have a 5 and a 4, because it, to put the 9 there, it wouldn't have an 8. Ah, but the 9 could be elsewhere. No, but then this would have to be the 5. Yeah, so this one is no longer a possibility. So, this cage we messed up. I messed up. Doesn't have a 3 in it. It could have a 1 or a 3 in it. Could it have a 7 in it? Yeah, it still could have a 7. We only have these two options now. So we know that it has an 8 in it now. Which means this is a 6. Does that help? It has an 8 in it and not a 6. No, but that 6 could maybe do other things for us. So it has an 8 in it. Has an 8 and a 9 and a 5 or 7. And a 1 or 3 or 4. No, it definitely has a 4 in it now as well. Ah, I'm so tempted into filling the options. Let's do something with the 6. This can no longer have this one. The 6. So this is our one option. Alright, so let's fill this one in. So we have a 3 already, and the remainders are 1, 2, 5s, and 8s. 1, 2, 5, 8. Is this cannot be an 8. Any problems with these guys? 1, 2, 5, 8. I think right now we're still in the realm of possibility here. And there's a 6 over here. So 1 in the middle. There's a 1 here somewhere. This one doesn't have a 6. And we said that one of these two is an even number. If this is the even 2, then that's an 8, that's a 4. And if this is the even number, what could it be? 8, 4. So this could only be an 8 or a 4. Not actually that limiting. Alright, I'm back to staring. Ah, that's a 4. That makes this a 2. So then this is not the even number. Before we had this as the even number. That gives me hope. Gives me hope that we've unraveled ourselves. So this can no longer have a 2 in it. Ah, no, it's broken. Alright, I'm gonna leave this as a cliffhanger. I think probably if I restart this. Actually, let's do a restart. I thought I'm gonna run badly late on the food situation. So and apparently restarting does not reset the killer cages. Alright, so we're gonna refresh it on top of it. So let's do this again. So we said this could only have one of the evens, and the same with this. It cannot have 2 evens. So anything that has more than 1 even, we can disable. And the same for the case. It's the same case for all of these. So any combination that has more than 1 even number, we can just knock out. So now we know this is a 1, 3, 7, which means this one cannot have a 1 in it, no 7, no 3, and makes it a 4, 5, 9. Same with this. It can't be a 4. Can't be a 4 and an 8. 6 and an 8. So that's a 5, 7, 9. And then this one can have a 7, can have a 5. So it's a 1, 3, 6. All right, and then these can't have 6s in them. So these are 2, 4, 8. These one can't have 4s in them, so they're 2, 6, 8s. And then this one can't be a 4. All right, same thing here. Only singular even numbers are allowed. No 6, 8, no 4, 8, no 4, 6, no 2, 8. So that's a 3, 7, 9. Now we know this one can't have a 3, 9, or 7 in it. And it's a 1, 5, 6. And that means these cannot have 6s in them. And finally... can't be this one. Can have a 2 and a 6 in it. So that's the 1, 3, 5. And this one, no 1, no 3, and no 5. That's the 2, 7, 9. And this one doesn't have a 2 in it. So 4, 6, 8. This doesn't have a 2 in it. And this doesn't have a 2 in it. So that's where we were before. And I don't know what I did specifically. Ah, yeah, so I said this one has to have a 9 in it. So these can't be 9. This one has to have a 9 in it. Okay. It does have an 8 in it. So these two cannot have an 8 in it. 2, 4, 6. This one does have to have an even number in it. No, it has a 9 in it. I don't think any of the other numbers are forced. This one has to have a 1 in it. Not helpful. And this one, not so accommodating. Alright, so we know these are all evens. These are all evens. Narrow the 2-9 cage down more. Can't have a 1 based on pencil marks. Can't have a 1. Oh yeah, we did that before, didn't we? We said if it has a 1 in it, it has to have a 4 and an 8. Yeah. Let's start with fresh marks at least. I'm gonna fill these in because I'm a marker boy. And now we know this is not an even number. We're gonna make that orange, and we know this is an even number. And we know there's 2 even numbers in here. All right. So are there any combinations here that don't have 2 evens in here? Well, this one has 3. 2 and 6, 4 and 8, 4, 6, 6 and 8, 4, 8, and 6, 8. So that's the only ones I can exclude from here. But this one can have at most 2, but must have at least 1 even number in here. So unless there's like a 2, yeah, no, there's not a restriction on this cage. What about this one? 4, 6, 6, 8, 4, 8, 2, 8, 6, 8. No, that seems fine. This one has to have a 9 in it. Has to have an 8 in it, which isn't actually that helpful. Ah, yes, we did a deduction earlier where we said these 2 cages, they can't both have 6s in here, right? And they have 6 and 1 in common, right? So if either one of them has a... If a 3 is in here... Sorry, if this is a 3, then this would be a 1, 6, and this wouldn't be resolvable, right? So that can't be a 3. And I'm on the wrong setting again. Anyway, the point is, this can't be a 3. For the same reason, this can't be a 5. So now we have a 1, 3, 5, 6 quadruple here. So it means this can't be a 6. And then these are 7 9s. Right. We have an 8 in either one of these, and this one now no longer can have any combos that have both a 2 and a 4 in them. Neither can this, if there are any. And apparently there aren't any, so that's not helpful. But I thought that was one of the things we had done earlier. Now we know there needs to be 2 evens in here, and those are either... So this one is out. So it's either 2, 8, and 4 and 8, but there's definitely an 8 in here now. Which we already knew, which again is not useful. So there's a 2 or a 4 in here, which aligns with this one, which means this has to be a 6. Right, so now this cannot have a 6 in it. So now this has an 8 and a 7 in it, so that's a 3. An 8 and a... Oh, wait a second. No, a 3... Wait. Oh, yeah, I clicked on the wrong cage. So this has to have an 8 and 7, but it cannot be this one because it can have a 3 and a 7. So it's 2, 5, 7, 8, 9. 2, 5, 7, 8, 9. That means this is a 3, and this is a 4, and this is an 8, and we have a contradiction. Because we're missing a 1. Yeah, we're missing a 1, and neither one of these can have 1s in them. So this must have the 1 in it, but then it can't have a 6 in it. Both options you have left for 32 are 3 evens in it, I think. 32. 3 evens. 2, 6, 8. 4, 6, 8. You're right. So neither one of these options is actually possible. The heck am I doing then? So this option has an 8 in it, but then where's the 4th even? Neither of these cages can have an even in it. Ah, no, wait, I'm an idiot. This can have 6 in it. All right, I feel like I've started all over, and I did similar mistakes. But this cage was getting really interesting. So before I conclude, this cannot be the 2, 3, 4 solution. It has a 1 in it. This one now cannot be the 1 solution, and it cannot have a double even. So it can't be this one, and that's it. This one. Again, I need something with 2 choices that can't be double evens. So that's a 1, 3, 7. So now this one can't have a 1 in it. No 7, no 3. One of these 2, and it can't be this one. So now this one is 4, 5, 9. Now these can't have 4s in them. So 2, 6, 8. This sometimes happens to me, and I just get myself all confuddled. And then I go around in circles. And I don't get to the door. 2, 4, 6. Not very useful. Cannot have this one. Cannot have this one. Not this one. Not this one. So 3, 7, 9. That's more like it. So no 3, no 7, and no 9. And these are with a 1, 5, 6. So now these are 2, 4, 8s. Right. And this one cannot be a 4. 4 and an 8, and can be a 6, 7. So that's a 5, 7, 9. And that probably narrows this down again. That's the 1, 3, 6. And that means no 6 here. And this is a 2, 4, 8. Okay. And then finally, do we have anything down here? Anything useful? Wait. Yeah, no. 1, 2, 6 or 1, 3, 5. Can't be a 1, 2, 6. There we go. 1, 3, 5. And now this one. No 3. No 5. That's a 2, 7, 9. So far, I'm fairly confident we're good. So 4, 6, 8. No 2s. 6, 8, 2, 8. 4s here. All right. Now we know this one has to have a 9 in it. So we can get rid of 9s from here to here. And we know... This could be a 4. You said something about multiple... Hey, Ranks, how are you doing? What did I get for streaming so late? Oh my god, it's almost 10. Yeah, I really have to get going. We know these can have 8s in them. So these are 2, 4, or 6. So this one has a 9 and an 8 in it. And needs to have... So it has a 9 and an 8. And will it always have another even? Not necessarily. So this could still be a 6. This is a 3, 5, 7, 8, 9. Alright, do we have any limitations on this guy? No, but I think this one has to have a 1 in it, which isn't super helpful. And it can't have it can't have 3 evens, but it could have 2 evens, right? Also not useful. Ah, wait. We know that it can't have a 4, 5, and it can't have a 3, 7. So this one is out. This one is out. Now we know it has an 8 in it. So this is now a 2, 4, 6. We have an 8 in here. But other than that, well, we have a 2 or a 6 with it, with the 8. So that means, wait a second, 8, 6, 8, 2, 8, 6. It always has 2 evens, so this is not even. So that gets us a 5 here. So now this can't have a 5 in it. And now we have our cage, 1, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that means these are not 6s. Now I'm fairly confident this is correct. But I've said that before, and I was wrong before. So let's just be cautious. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. 1, 5s are gone. I don't think I have any other limitations here yet. This cannot have a 2 and a 4 in it, which is fine. Neither can this, which means that's out. Alright, and this one, this is still wide open. 32 has one option, 2 of them have 3 evens. 32 has 1 option, 2 of them have 3 evens. Oh, yeah, we've done this earlier. I don't know why I keep going around to this one. 3, 7, 8, 9. 3, 4, 7, 8, 9. 3, 4, 7, 8, 9. 3. So this definitely has a 5 in it, right? So that's a 1. That means that's not a 1. And it definitely has a 3 in it, so that's a 6. Alright. That means that's not a 6. Right. Oh, and there's a 6 over here. Okay, that means a 6 down here. It's not a 3. 5, 7, 8, 9. Can this be an 8? Guess it could be. Ah, but it can't be a 5. This can't be a 5 either. So there's a 5 down here. 3, 7, 8, 9. This can't be a 1. Right? That's not a 3. Ah, yes. And earlier I knew that was a 3 and a 5. Yeah, you're just catching the end of the stream. I'm just finishing off this puzzle. Tidying up the code for the killer calculator. 2, 7, 9. 1, 3, 7. So we know there's 9s here, so there's no 9s there. Oh yeah, now we know, because we know there's 3 evens here. There could be at most 1 even. That means 7 and 9 is both in these. So, what was it again? So 7 and 9 is one of these. Is 2 of these. The third one is an even, together with these, which means these 2 are odd. Which means we need 2 more evens. There's an 8 here, which means this needs to be a 2. Am I getting that right? Am I remembering this right from our previous deductions? And that means there needs to be an 8 or a 6 here. Oh, wait, no, there's 2. There could be an 8 and a 6 here, and this doesn't necessarily have to be a 2. Damn it! Well. Well. It was going too smoothly. Yeah, it's a pity that the feature I was working on didn't work out that well. I couldn't figure out how to make the UI work smoothly. Basically, the idea was that you had, multiple selection and would actually give you the combinations for multiple cages at once. But I don't think it worked as well as I'd hoped. And for now, the code is still disabled, basically. I'll have to see if I can make it useful somehow. Remind me, what were deductions we'd figured out before? This is like my 3rd way through the... Hey, Mikhail. Well, I don't think... It might be a good test case, because eventually I need to work on a very large grid option for scrolling and panning. I want to make very large puzzles playable. Not to do a 64 by 64, but, you know, to do something like that worm and other sort of multi-dimensional puzzles and stuff. And for the editor as well. So I'm definitely keeping that in mind for that. Alright, is there any other deduction I can't do from this one? Those earlier... Oh yeah, because these are all evens, so one of these is odd. Right, but we don't know which one, and we don't know which digit. We know this doesn't have a 2-4 option, and we know it doesn't have a 1-5 option. Any other things we know about this one? Wait, there can't be a 1 here, there can't be a 1 here, there could be a 1 here. We know it has a 9 in it, so it can't be this one, because there's no 9 here or here. What else do we know? 7 could be here, so wait, 1, 2, 3, 4... 5, 6, 7, 8. So any other digit is fair game. Well, it's got to be touch dragging, right? Maybe like a little grabby hand or something. So it probably would. Yeah, it's a good point actually. It might have to be. I don't know if it would be a separate tool or like a scroll bar or like a hotkey to get a grabby hand or something like that. I mean, on desktop maybe it's right-click dragging, maybe. It'll be hard to differentiate, you know, dragging the board from dragging a line across the board and stuff like that, or selections. Yeah, maybe 2-finger gestures, stuff like that. Yeah, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. I want to make more deductions on these large cages. I'm a bit annoyed that I haven't gotten further with them yet. It's an 8 in one. Yeah, there's an 8 in one of these, so that's not an 8. Ah, wait, we knew this earlier. This is a 7, 9. We had figured that out already. Yeah, no. Well, yeah, we know this is a 7 and 9. Big whoop. So we know this one is even. Is that helpful? Is that helpful? Is that helpful? This can't be a 1, so this is 3, 5, 7, 9. So is there any combination? Like if this is a 3, this is a 2, this is a 3, that's a 4, that's a 5, that's a 6. Is there like any pairs that we can't have? 8, 9, 6, 7. They're all possible still, I think. And we only know that 4 or 8 is in these, but not both. We don't know if both are in there. Come on! Come on! We can do this. 6, 8. 2, 7, 9. So there's 2 in either here or here. There's no 2 here, which means... And there's no 2 here, which means there's either 2 here or here. Or here. Maybe there? Maybe. Two, 4, 6, 8, 9. 1. Sorry, I'm just like literally scanning and then just saying the numbers out loud. So if you ever wanted a text-to-speech calculator, give me a call. I can read numbers. Oh, that's not a 6. Yay! We know the 6 is down here, though. Maybe it's time to double-click everything and see what reveals itself to us. There's a 1 here. Maybe it's useful. Maybe we'll figure something out. 1 up here. I feel like the first time around we had more than this. It's like each time I do this puzzle, I get a bit worse at it. 5 here, we know that already. Don't know anything about here. I think we had a similar deduction, since one of these has to have a 7, right? If this was not a 7, and this would be a 7, this would have to be a 7. There's no other overlap, not like with these. Ah, these can't be 6s. which means there's a 6 over here, which means there's a 6. Could be a 6 here. Guess. Ah, no, they can't. So there's a 6 over here. So it means these can't be 6s, but this could still be a 6, and this could still be a 6. We can't have a 2-4 here because of this one. Well, I don't know. James Sinclair doesn't usually use these fancy techniques. I'm actually surprised I'm struggling this much, because his puzzles are usually right up my alley in terms of difficulty. Like, this shouldn't really be difficult. I'm just blaming the large view I have. I find it hard to scan. Yeah, I don't really want to do any sets and stuff. Usually his deductions are fairly linear. You just do one after the other, and you just don't get stuck, which is why I like them. It's exactly what I like about them. So we have a 6, 2, 4, 8. So we need another even digit. This is odd, odd, odd. Could either one of the... Can we say something about these? Could either one of these be not... Could both of these be odd? And then have this be a 6 or an 8? Is that possible? Is that possible? For that to be possible, we need to have these to be 8. One of these to be 8, which means this would have to be not an 8. Can't immediately rule that out, to be honest. I really need help with this one because I am on a clock. 2-4. We've removed the 2-4 options. All the remaining options have 1s. That doesn't help us. All the remaining options have nothing else in common. Let's see if we can do that. Find any commonalities of the remaining options. It's only these two that haven't been resolved yet anyways, right? Wait a second. We know that 7 and 9 are used up here. So these are 1, 3, 5. Ah, it's a 1-5 pair. Is that helpful? It's surprising, but... Well, I'm surprised. It's not really surprising, but I'm surprised. Ah, that's actually resolved. Whoops. Because we have a 1 at the top. So that's not even a 5 anymore. That's only a 7 or a 9. What does it say about this row? It means that this is a 1. The 1 here. Let's have a 1 in it. Maybe. Mayhaps. Mayhaps. In fact, it has to have a 1 in it because there's 1 here and 1 here. And we need still 2 1s for this column. For these 2 columns here. And that's it? Really? Not so good. Well, let's see. Where can the 5 be? Well, it can't be here anymore. It can't be here. So if this is a 5, this had to be a 4 or 6. Can this have a 5 and a 6? 4 and a 6? Yeah, that's all still eminently possible. Is this... Oh, this can't be a 3. Oh. Oh. Yeah. Alright. That's a 3. Not helpful, but it's a digit, right? So that takes care of the 3 in here. Is there something that's now prohibited because of some other things here? So, for example, are there any of the other digits that we can't put in the remainder here? So we know there's a 1 in here. There's not necessarily a 2. It's not necessarily a 5, or 4, or a 6, or a 7, or a... We know there's no 9. Alright. Yeah, I thought that would give us more than that. It's annoying. Alright, so 9 and 7 are gone from the others. 1 and 5. 1, 5, 3, 7, 9. Yeah, that's all the odd evens on this area. And... Alright, fresh mind. Let's look in a different direction. We have a 7, 9 here. 6, 7, 8, 9. We have these guys here. So we haven't resolved these. Let's have a look where the 1s go. No, don't go there. Alright, what about 2s? 2s go only in 2 locations here. 2 is here or here. There may be some sort of X-wing on these things going on here. So we know 2 is one of these 3 places. 2 is somewhere, one of these 2 places here. And then over here, it could be in other places though, unfortunately. Like, this could still be a 2, because then these both would be 4, and that would be a 2, right? Alright, 3s. Well, these can't be 3s. But, oh, that can't be a 3 either. Ah, wait a second. If this is blue, we've got 3 blues. 3 blues. We have 3 blues in this direction as well. Like, this couldn't be an 8 and a 2, for example. But other than that, don't really have all that much else. Is there anything prohibited? There's a 9. There's not a 9 in here for sure. I don't know if coloring these is gonna do anything useful. Ah, this can't be an 8. This can't be an 8. Ah, wait. No. Ah, earlier I thought it couldn't be a 3. I think that was the mistake, because I thought, oh, this can't be a 2 and a 4, but it can be either one of them, because then that just would be the other one. I don't know why I made that deduction earlier. That was completely wrong. 6, 7, 9. Oh, can't be a 6 either. I'm getting blind to like evens and odds and all that stuff. There's a 6 and an 8 in these 3. 2, 4. Oh yeah, well, we know that. 7, 9. 5, 7. Is there one of these? It's not possible. Nope. I have a feeling it's something like these offset, you know, like there's a 1 here and here, or there's a 9 here and here, you know. Maybe there's even something like there's some crosstalk. If this is a 7, right? This would be a 9 and this would be a 9. Is that a problem? I don't see how it would be. We just need a 9 over here then. What are these? We know. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No 6, 7, 8, 9. But I have a feeling a lot of these aren't actually possible because we already have 3 evens here. Yeah, this is silly. That's not doing anything. We excluded a 6 from here. We've got 2. Ah, wait a second. These are all even. Odd, odd, odd. We need 2 more evens, so these both are evens. That's something. Don't know what it is, but it's something. So, does this one, this cage, have any forbidden evens? No? 6, 8, all that. But we know there's 2 evens, there's 3 evens, 4 evens. This cannot be an even. So that's something. Now this has gone back and forth a couple of times, our understanding of these 2 cells. So let's hope for the best. Alright, that's it. Ah man, we didn't make it. Time's up. That's no 5 evens in box 2 now. No 5 evens. Oh, you're right. God damn it. 1, 2. So this column needs to have these. If... Why did I think this could... Alright. In a weird backwards roundabout way, that tells us we can only have 1 even here. Which means this one needs to be an even. Which means it cannot be a 7 or 9. And we need 1 more even. Which then has to be this one or this one. If it's not this one, then it's this one. And this would be a 6-8 pair. Or this would be the 6-8 pair, and this would not be the even. And then the 2s would be there, and that would be the 4, and that would be the 8. Could this ever be a 6, actually, because of that? Somehow. So if this is a 6, this won't be an 8. means that would be a 4. And then that would be a 2. Then this would be a 2. This would be an 8. That would be a 7, 9. No, that all works out. Alright, that's it. Unfortunately, I cannot finish this puzzle today. Shall we call it a cliffhanger? Not my failure of doing a simple puzzle. And then we'll finish it off next time. Hopefully, which will hopefully be tomorrow. I hope I won't go a whole week without a stream again. It's just a little tough now with the, you know, the working and all that. Well, this was a start. I cleaned up the code, but it was unsatisfying because I feel like the work I did with the multi-cage calculator feature is not gonna work out that well. So I think I'm gonna try to just polish up the cage calculator right now for single cages as it is, and then maybe add the sort of multi-cage summation stuff, although I'm not too fond of that. And then we'll a cliff failure. So not really a cliffhanger then, it's a cliff fall, right? Well, no, because, you know, we can just press this button here, the magic button, and it'll let us finish later. Alright, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. And there's a lot of things that I want to work on. You know, there's somebody asked for a sharing of ongoing progress feature, similar that as you can share the puzzles with SudokuPad, that you can share your ongoing progress in your replay, basically. And that's definitely something I'd like to build. There is, obviously, I want to finish the killer cage. There's a couple of updates. There's a page I want to do for listing of places where to get puzzles, you know, such as the Discord players, such as the Discord servers, such as, you know, artisanal Sudoku, such as any kind of, you know, I have a couple of bookmarklets where you can pull puzzles off Twitter bots and stuff like that. And of course, all the YouTubers like Ranks, like ZetaMath, like Bremster, all the ones that listed in my channels. So check those guys out, you know. And I think there's a lot of people with the app asking where can they find more puzzles. So I definitely want to start building a resource for that, and I'm kind of excited about that. It's just I want to do it properly, and I want to do it well, and I want to put it in a place, and then eventually I want to migrate that into the apps themselves and into the website and all that stuff. So it's quite a little path to get there. Anyways, thank you very much for hanging out. Thanks for keeping me going, encouraging me and all that, and thanks for the support. Very much appreciated. Take care. Bye-bye. See you in the next Code Hangout.